Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we have some special guests all the way from Japan, YUNIGE. So I would like to welcome Toshitaka, Sumire, and Hiroe here on our channel. Welcome guys, how you doing?
Good. Hi, guys. It's great to be on the show.
Yes, same as well.
That's great. Are you all guys in Osaka, right?
Yes.
Really nice. So we have met in Tokyo at the Mastermind Seven Figure Seller Summit. That was a great event. I remember meeting a lot of interesting people, both old and new that I knew already that I didn't know. I didn't know YUNIGE. It's a very good, interesting company what you guys are doing. So I'm really happy to bring you here in our YouTube channel because we have seen an increasing interest in entering Japan. So why not bringing in the experts here to actually support you and answer some of your questions? You know, I think this is what it's all about. We want to know stuff even before we start, you know, tipping our foot on the water. So we want to know what's going on, if we can actually enter Japan or not. So Toshitaka, first of all, once again, thank you so much for being here. Welcome here. I will let you introduce yourself and YUNIGE, so you can tell us more about what you guys are doing.
Okay, great. Thank you very much again. Thank you for inviting us. It's been a pleasure meeting you in Tokyo as well, and talking to you here. We YUNIGE are a company located in Japan. We are stationed in Osaka. We have warehouses in Osaka and Tokyo, and one of our main services that we provide is IOR for Japan. But not just for Japan, we have branch offices in Italy, in the UK, in India, in Dubai, in the US, in China, and Korea. So if there's any services that you need in those countries as well, we can provide the IOR services there as well. Also, we specialize in a lot of compliance items, so cosmetic items, food items, electrical items. A lot of these items, they will need an importer of record or an importer to import into Japan. And again, we can provide those services. But before coming in, we will make sure that everything complies with the Japanese rules and laws, so you don't have any issues in getting the items custom cleared. And also, we try to make sure that there's no flag, being put on Amazon. So we make sure that everything can be distributed and sold in Japan as well. And with me today, I have Hiroe and Sumire. These are great colleagues and great staff members that will also help out in the services.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's my pleasure to have you here, to see you once again. I've met all of you guys in Tokyo. Super nice people, really good. And I love Japan. I really miss it already. I want to come back. If I would live in Japan, it would be like so much. I would pretty much become Japanese, but I love it, man. Every time I go there, and the food. I mean, guys, we met in Tokyo. I love Tokyo. It's one of my favorite cities. I've also been in Osaka. Osaka is more like chill. So if you guys want to take a holiday and visit Osaka and visit YUNIGE in their office, that's really a great place. And people are amazing, you know. So I will send a link to the interview that we had with Brandon Yang. We were talking about data dive. Brandon Yang was also in Tokyo. And also, on a side note, I remember I was talking with Hiroe, and she actually told me that you guys have a branch in Italy that is in my hometown, Catania in Sicily, right? So I come from there. I was born in Catania. So yeah, it's super interesting. So just let's remind, even before we start, why would you be interested in selling in Japan? In case you guys didn't look at our video, we have done an interview with Gary from the Seven Figure Seller Summit, and we have listed a lot of reasons why Japan is an amazing marketplace to get in right now. It's the 4th largest marketplace on Amazon right now. Or 3rd, I don't remember right now, but it's anyway, top 5 definitely. So you have a lot of potential there, and you don't have as many competitors. And the fact that actually there are so many barriers to the entry, so many walls to enter the market, is actually a good thing, because this means that you're not gonna have a lot of competitors, because the Japanese government, as we will see now, makes it really hard to actually import stuff in Japan. So you really have to go through a lot of regulations, and we will just see a little bit of information here with YUNIGE. So this makes it better for you, because once you get in, you're there for good, you're there to stay, and you make sure that you have, a lot of customers who love shopping online. And so it's definitely gonna be good. And also, less competitors, less cost per click, all this stuff. A lot of people, Amazon is very well integrated into the Japanese, e-commerce buying culture. So would you agree with this, Toshitaka? What do you say? How is Amazon right now seen in Japan?
Okay, definitely, yes. Japan is a very growing market, and especially I can say before and after the COVID pandemic here in Japan. Before, I think Rakuten was quite large. However, a lot of the Japanese people were still hesitant in buying online, so they would actually go to the stores to buy anything and everything. But during the pandemic, with the lockdown, people started to look into more of the online market. And with the services that Amazon provides, especially for Prime, you would be amazed at how many people have started to join the Prime account and using the Amazon account. Now, one thing particular with Amazon is if you buy anything, you can return it. That's a fabulous service that they have. And that gave a lot of the confidence to the Japanese people buying online. They were not worried about being frauded or receiving bad items that they can't return. With Amazon, they can return it. So they would buy online. And I think after that, it started to grow. Myself personally, before the pandemic, I still had actual cash in my pocket, actual bills and coins. But after the pandemic, I use everything digital. So I think again, that's a mindset that has changed in Japan. Online, digital. We're not worried about the hard cash anymore. So definitely, I think it's a very growing market.
To be honest with you, yeah, I've seen also something changing in Japan. I like it more and more right now, so I might reconsider my answer to the question, would you live in Japan? Because it was really good. I mean, it was really nice, and I've seen like different things going on in Japan. But yeah, I mean, I'm so in love with this place. But let's go back to Amazon. We will talk about Japan and culture later, but it's definitely interesting. You have said that actually something really important for the customers is actually to have the opportunity to give back the product, and that's why Amazon has got such a big penetration right now. And then we also learned together about the point system and all the different stuff. But we're here today to talk about how to get your products into Japan. So I am, pretending to be an Amazon seller that is considering to get into Amazon Japan. So let's say that before I even launch my products in Japan, how can I prepare my business? What are the things that I should consider before launching my products in Japan? Maybe I should consider if I can launch some particular products, or if I cannot launch some other products. Maybe I should consider how long it's gonna take me to get my physical products into Amazon FBA in Japan. How could you help here?
Right. Okay. I think Hiroe could help me out with that.
The whole process and the timeline depends on your item. So first, we would like to get the item details. And then we will categorize your items according to our knowledge. And then the categories are largely divided into first, cosmetic, second, food, third, PSC electric items, fourth, pet food, and then fifth, it will be non-compliance related item, which are like consumable goods. And the timeline depends on each category. I guess the longest it takes is the food items and then the cosmetic items, because the back and forth goes because mostly the manufacturer or the seller cannot obtain the information that we request, and then there is the back and forth and timeline that we need. But other than that, I think it will be roughly like 1 month to up to 3 months, I think.
Yeah, that's great. So we actually have, a little bit of an understanding where we're starting to understand how it works. Was the timeline? We were mentioning, the importer of records, IOR. Okay. So can you please, guys, explain what is this figure in Japan? Why do we as sellers need it so much to enter the Japanese marketplace? And what's gonna be, the job of the IOR in Japan?
Just as Hiro had explained, there are a lot of compliance-related items or related rules and regulations that we need for importing into Japan. And I'm sure this is the case for any country. However, one big obstacle in Japan is the Japanese language. We have a very particular language that many people struggle. And with this, there are a lot of rules in Japan that is needed. And one is you need an importer for, let's say, cosmetic items, let's say food items and electrical items. Importer meaning a person that has an entity or somebody that's living in Japan needs to be the person that is receiving the item. A lot of the Amazon sellers, they are abroad, they don't have anything in Japan, but they want to sell in the Japanese market. And this is where we come in. We, as an IOR importer of record, we will be the importer for you, and we will import your items so that it is importable. Now, for non-compliance or general items, some items you do not need an importer, and you will be able to send to Amazon directly. There are issues in doing that, but that is possible. However, for cosmetic, food items, and electrical items, that's not possible. You need an entity in Japan, and we can help out in that, being the importer.
Yeah, I think that this is what most of the sellers are missing. You need to have an entity, might it be a person resident in Japan, better Japanese person, or a company in Japan that is actually welcoming your products. That's the best way to get the products shipped in Japan, especially if you are talking about big volumes. So that's where the importer or a service like YUNIGE comes into place to help you guys, because otherwise, what could happen? Are the products gonna get stuck at the customs? They don't get inside Japan?
So what would happen is once it comes to customs, the custom broker will be asking the consignee, which is on the document, what the item is or details of it. And if there's nobody here to answer those questions, then it cannot be custom cleared. So us as an importer, we in advance make sure that we understand all of the items, for instance, materials, how it's used, is there any medical claims on it, what's the purpose of it? And we explain this to the custom broker, and he will explain it to customs, and that will assure the safe ride into Japan.
Okay. That's good. So my next question here, as we're talking about the entity to actually bring your products in Japan, is what about your business on Amazon? Do you need to have an entity in Japan? Do you need to have a company in Japan to actually start selling on Amazon, to make your to open your store on Amazon? Or can you actually start selling in Japan with a US based company or with the EU based company, or even maybe Hong Kong? A lot of sellers have got some companies in Hong Kong.
Okay, so myself not being the expert for Amazon, I will try to answer that. But what I know is with an account that you have in the US or anywhere in the world, you can open Amazon Japan account. And with that account, you will be able to sell in Japan. So with that said, you do not need an actual entity in Japan to sell it. And I have heard that everything that's being sold, all of the sales money will be transferred to the original account or where you have your account. So everything works just the way Amazon works anywhere in the world, and you can sell your items in Japan without an entity.
That's perfect. So for anyone who's already selling in the US or Europe or any other marketplace, they just need to find pretty much the importing partner and hopefully it's going to be you. And they can just open the store on Amazon by using the same information that they use for opening the store and running the store in the US and EU. So that's super good. That's super easy. The most crucial step, as I understood, is making sure that your products get. When we're talking about importing products, is there some particular approval that we have to go through? For example, for some particular kind of items or categories when it comes to, for example, food products or products that are touching the skin. I think I remember this is a regulation in Japan. You need to get some particular, what's the name? The lab testing, for example, has to be done in Japan.
Unlike the US, in Japan, there is a separation between cosmetic items and food items. And so for cosmetic items, you will need a cosmetic registration. Also, you will need a license here in Japan that a Japanese entity has. And you will have to label everything in Japanese. So prior to import, you will need to register your cosmetic item. And again, we can help on doing that. For food items, you will also need a food registration, and that will happen upon import. So on import, we will help out in registering their food items. If everything is approved and passes, then it's importable and you can sell that in Japan. Of course, this also will need a Japanese label. So I am not really sure of the terminology, but all compliance-related items will need these registrations, labels, approval. Yes.
So when it comes to category, we are talking about cosmetics because they touch the skin of the user, food because they are ingested. Anything else like maybe toys or personal care items, maybe this kind of category will fall into this, kind of products that require special attention in getting approved. And yeah, that's the interesting thing. They need to have the label in Japanese, right?
Cosmetic and food, it's the name of the registration. So the cosmetic registration, there are under the Japanese regulation, there are several effects that fall under this regulation. So if you're writing these claims on the product, or if the product, the cosmetic item has, let's say it's lotion and it moisturizes your skin, the moisturizing skin falls under the regulation. So that's why it falls under the cosmetic item. So even though you think that it is cosmetic in your country, it might not be cosmetic in our country. So it really it is a little bit complicated. So not all cosmetic, not all, it's very difficult to explain the whole entire thing. And then for like food registration, if you say toy requires food registration, and like kitchen related items also requires food registration, even though it's not digested, like you don't intake it. But it is used for kitchen kitchen goods, kitchen related goods. You use them to eat and drink. That's why it requires the same registration as the food. And then for toys, same purpose. So the babies and children like to put toys into their mouth. That's why we put them in the mouth. So that's why it requires the same registration for the food.
Yeah, makes sense. I remember now, for example, that all the kitchen items. So guys, be careful if you're thinking to enter Japan and you're selling, best-selling items in the US right now, home and kitchen. Yes, it might not be that easy to sell them in Japan. So you have to go through this whole process of getting approved, registered, getting a Japanese label. But I have some good news for you, because I think I remember this, Hiroe. I think that once they get approved, you only need to go through the approval process once, and then do you need to repeat it every year, or is it for good?
So this also depends. So for the cosmetic registration, it's a one-time application, and then you can import it for the entire time. And then the food registration, it's a little bit complicated again. And if it's mostly food intake items like food supplements, food drinks, So those require lab testing, and those lab testing only last for a year usually. So that's why you need to renew and retake the lab testing. And that's why you need some kind of application again. But it won't be as expensive as the initial. And then the timeline will be definitely shorter.
Okay, and I guess this is also something that you can help with finding a good lab in or outside of Japan, right?
We also
Okay.
have a list of labs that's outside of Japan, and we are happy to share those too.
That's great. So let's say that we already have taken care of all these issues. I know what kind of products I want to import in Japan. Now I have a question for you guys. I'm not sure who's going to answer this question, but how can I make sure that my products don't get stuck at the customs and they get cleared in the fastest way possible? How can I do that?
That's a tough question, but the easy answer is let UNIGE handle it, and we'll make sure that it doesn't get stuck. Like I said, we make sure that everything complies with the rules in Japan. So therefore, we have to understand what the product is, how it's used, what's on the package, what material it uses. So a lot of the cooperation with the seller and ourselves initially before import is very important. We have to make sure that you give us as much information as possible. So for instance, an ASIN link would be fine. I can look at the page and check your items. If I have any questions, I'll go back. As long as you are honest and you tell me all of the information possible, when it comes into Japan to customs, we will do the same. We will make sure that we answer everything that they require. And especially for food items, we prepare the documents beforehand. We try to troubleshoot everything prior to that, and we try to make sure that the custom clearance is very smooth. So again, like I said, it's a very difficult question, but if you leave it to us, it becomes very simple.
So we have been imported 50,000 items, so we can use this knowledge and record to be smooth.
That's amazing. It sounds like me when I say we have optimized, 50,000 listings. We actually did optimize 15,000 SKUs only in 2022 in 1 year. So guys, you definitely want to have a partner that has a track record. UNIGE has been importing like 50,000, 50, right? That's amazing kind of items in Japan. So definitely, yeah, go and check them out. We will leave the link down into the description, and we will make sure that you can get in touch with the amazing team. So maybe we talked about this, but what are the categories that can be more easily sold in Japan? So nothing that touches the skin or that gets ingested. So what would you recommend? Dump proof is gonna get in so easily in Japan. What are the kind of products you would recommend to start with?
So we have already explained the categories, like cosmetic, food, electronics, and the last category was non-compliance related items, which can be electronic items with only USB, no Wi-Fi connection, like a mouse with code, non-leather shoes, bags, jewelries, and toys for older kids can be non-compliance related items, and also essential oils that is not for skin. Let's say if that is for the room
Diffuser, yeah, I had this. So I want to ask you something. So the non-compliant means that there is no particular requirement for getting approved, right? Am I understanding correctly? Okay, that was the term that we were all missing before the registration. Thank you for lighting it up and bringing it to life. So without the registration, okay. So you're saying that these are items that you can wear, like wearable items. Is that okay?
let's say it's a clothes, so those like wearable or those items that can touch to your skin would require Japanese labeling. No registrations or testing required. So just the Japanese labels, it will be way simpler to import compared to cosmetics or.
Yeah, and we were talking also about the essential oils for the diffuser. I have one here in my room, for example, or you were saying non-wireless electronics. So anything that has a cord, that has a wire, doesn't require the registration, right?
As long as it doesn't have any batteries,
Okay.
any plug.
Okay, so if it has battery, it requires a registration.
Yeah, batteries become a bit tricky. So lithium batteries, this is areas where we have to go kind of in depth. So it would be wise to consult us beforehand. But wireless meaning like radio,
Bluetooth, like for example, this requires a registration. Bluetooth headphone, right?
right? So right,
okay,
and
but this not.
Right.
Okay.
So things like that, very simple things would be good. As Sumita was talking about the apparel or textile items, these on customs is non-compliant, but for selling, they need the Japanese labels. And so again, there are different rules again here, and we will be happy to consult on these areas as well.
Yeah, this is really useful that you're saying this right now, because you might get the products in Japan, but then you need to sell them.
Right. And that's where you get in trouble with Amazon, and then your listing is suspended, and then you have to go through the hard work again.
Okay, so I mean, definitely we're seeing this as we were saying at the intro. Now you're getting, a little bit of an idea of why actually entering Japan is so hard and complicated. But once you're there and once you have your machine going, then it's amazing. It's also faster to get the products from China if you're actually making the products in China. So you're not going out of stock because your replenishment gets much faster. You get much faster your products into FBA, so you can actually sell more in the same amount of time, and you can actually have more cash flow. So that's also one good point. So you definitely need to know what you're doing. You need to have a trusted partner that knows what they're doing and that can help. You can take your hand and through the selling on Amazon journey. So I have the last question for Sumire. As you were talking before, like essential oils, is this like I see that now there is a lot going on with personal care and taking care of your house and yourself. Do you think that this is a category that is hot right now on Amazon? What would you say?
You mean, well, we have like a lot of sellers who wants to import home decors or essentials oils for the diffusers. So I would say it's yes.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I have another question for Hiro. What do you think it's a hot selling product right now, like e-commerce? What are Japanese people really looking for right now? Not only on Amazon, but also maybe on Rakuten. What do you think is a hot selling item right now, according to you?
Well, what I have been seeing is like home consumable items like umbrellas, like cushions, those like PC related, accessories like mouse pad, mouses, keyboards, like cameras. I see a lot of them, like iPad stands, phone stands.
Yeah. I think I need an iPad stand in front of me. I need to become a better influencer. Like, I'm just kidding. Some people told me you need to buy like the TikTok, the light. I'm not gonna do that. Not right now. Maybe later. So this was really interesting. Yeah, I don't want to be seen as a TikTok guy right now, but maybe later. Yes. This is some very interesting, facts that we've been talking about when it comes to Japan. I think it's really interesting. A lot of people want to get their hands into the Japanese marketplace and have more opportunities to make business, because it's definitely, there is a huge potential. Let's remind a little bit that there might be also some difference when it comes to actually market your products in Japan, and how do you communicate this? You know, it goes by itself that you have to, of course, translate your listing in Japanese, and we can help you with that. We personally, but also YUNIGE could help you find someone who can translate. We at WEAREGROWTHHACK, we can help you. We can also help you localize the image. And what we agreed on is when we were at the summit in Tokyo is that, for example, there are many there's some difference between an Amazon optimized image in the West for the US or European marketplace and for the Japanese marketplace. So do you guys agree with me? I remember that the Japanese customer is expecting a lot more information in terms of text, things that they can read in the images when it comes to Japan, and this translates into the A+ content and also the gallery images. So why is that happening? Because you guys are pure Japanese, so you can tell me what's in your mind when you're looking at some product packaging and images. You're really looking for all the information, all the details. Who wants to answer this question?
Okay, yeah, I'll try to answer it. No, we are looking for details. This was also discussed at the summit. A lot of Japanese people are looking for text in the images, not just how to use it, but they're looking for the small words, the explanations. So a lot of these words and explanations would be very good in selling the product. But I don't want to be a racist or anything, but I can't stress enough, the Japanese people will know if it's non-Japanese or Japanese. I mean, it kind of looks Japanese, but it's not. The Japanese people usually can tell the difference between a Japanese, a Korean, a Chinese. So if you use pictures with people that are non-Japanese, we kind of understand it, we know it, and it may go in a good way, but it's better to use something, pure Japanese. For that reason, a lot of Japanese people are more confident and they are more secure of the item. They can rely on it. To make sure that the Japanese people are confident of the item, it's good to use content that's made in Japan. Good to use Japanese that is Japanese and not Google translated. And after that, with the words there, the information there that explain the items, that will probably help provoke the items and help the Japanese people in purchasing that item. So yeah, there's a lot of difficult factors, but it's good to consult somebody that is Japanese or pure Japanese in giving ideas.
Yeah, that's amazing. Definitely. Guys, we want to remind you that YUNIGE is one of our partners to enter Japan, so they can definitely help you with getting the products. If you want help with localizing your listings and your images, we also have other partners that can help you. So get in touch with us if you want to have help with PPC, with anything. So Toshitaka, this was really informative. Thank you so much. Also to Sumire and Hiroe. Guys, you were really amazing, and I will leave the contact information for YUNIGE down in the description. You can find also a lot of tools that we're using to optimize your job as an Amazon seller, to make your life easier. Don't forget to leave us a like, a comment, and get in touch with YUNIGE if you like this. So guys, is there anything else you would like to say?
No, but David, thank you very much for letting us, attend this and speak. Again, if there's any help that the sellers or the people watching this need, feel free to ask questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. Again, there's a lot of questions that people have for the Japanese market that is not really in the internet market. So I mean, if there's something that you need, any help, we'll try. And then if that leads to business, we'll be more than happy. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks to you guys. So I will keep in touch, and I will see you in the next video, and I will see you guys in Osaka. Cheers.